In the previous episode, I packed away and said farewell to the Outer Hebrides after 28 days on the islands, and Winston and I caught our last ferry back to the mainland, which made me very seasick. On the way, I shared some of the highlights from our time in the Outer Hebrides, and once we reached Ullapool, I pitched the pod and it continued to rain as we carry on with our biggest adventure to date. Winst, can you come over this way please so you don't knock over the balance things? Over this way. Go over this side. There you go. Good boy. Hang on. We have just arrived to this campsite in Ullapool, and usually I like to spend the first day going out and exploring. However, today is going to have to be a pod day because I have work to do. I have to get a video edited and ready to be uploaded and published to YouTube on Wednesday. So after Winston's morning walk, it's time for me to crack out the laptop. Okay guys, something's just happened and I need to tell you. So I'm sat here working and I have the fly screen up on the window because I'm enjoying the lovely views that I've got around. The campsite's very quiet, and because my van is parked on this side, I thought that I had some privacy. But a man has just walked up to the side of my caravan, put his hands on and looked inside. And I turned and looked at him and he saw me. And I said, that is very rude. I said, this is my home. I said, you wouldn't walk up to somebody's house and look inside somebody's house. This is my private space. I said, it's very rude what you have just done. And I said that to him through the window. And he apologised and went. But he walked around the caravan, kind of still trying to look inside as he went. And I cannot believe that people do this. And this isn't this is probably the most severe where they've actually went up like that. But the reason why I always try to get privacy on campsites is because the GoPod is so unique and so different. Everybody wants to have a look, which is fine. I get the curiosity. But this is my personal space when I'm away. This is my home. I don't want people sticking their heads in all the time. So if I'm on like a walkway or something, I'll have the door shut or I'll have like blinds up or whatever. I'll try and keep my own space as private as possible. Anyway, that's my little rant. I'm getting back to work. Still can't believe he did that. I cannot believe someone just walked up and just took it upon themselves to look inside my caravan. So that rant was actually much longer, but I thought I'd edit it down and save you guys at least 30 minutes of your life. But that was the morning shift done, so it was then time for a quick lunchtime walk. Back at the pod, Winston made a mess whilst enjoying his pig's ear, but he did clean up after himself. It was then time to start the afternoon shift. And once the afternoon shift was done, it was time for our evening walk. Now, it does seem like we're having a lot of walks, but they are only short, and it's good for both of us to get outside of the pod, especially since it is so small. So we are now out for evening walks. The video is about done. I've just got to watch it through, make any other small changes, and then export it. To give you an idea of how long this takes, I started today at 10 AM. It's now gone 6 PM. And that's not the full video, that's not from start to finish, because I already had a big chunk of it done before the start of today. So if I was just going to work solidly on the video, I think it would take about 2 to 3 days. And that's just the editing. Obviously each video kind of contains probably about 2 to 3 days of footage as well. So if you add 2 to 3 days of footage and then 2 to 3 days of editing, you're looking at a week to produce a 20 to 30 minute video. So a lot of work does go into it, but I enjoy it. I enjoy creating these little movies and documenting Winston and I's, is that the way? Anyway, me and Winston and me, you know, our adventures, and it's just nice to look back on them, especially when I know Winston's not going to be here forever. So it's going to be nice when in about 10 or 15 years time, and I can look back and say, that was my dog, and that's what we did, and those are the times we had, etc. Anyway, we're going to enjoy the rest of our walk, and then it's time for Winston to be fed, which is his second favourite time of the day. I think his breakfast is the first favourite time of the day, but I don't know, you'll have to ask him. Every day is a great day in the life of Winston, he enjoys everything. Like sniffing around in rocks. No, very easily pleased. Doesn't take much to have a great time. This evening sunshine was such a refreshing change, especially after a grey and drizzly morning. You want feeding? I'll get you some food. I'll get you some food. It was then time for my tea, and since the sun had made an appearance, I decided to eat it outside. have to say that with all the bad weather we've had recently, and the amount of nights I've been stuck inside this pod with the pop top down, rain battering it, wind shaking it from side to side, this is making up for it. I could sit here all day. With Winston's tapping. Trying to enjoy the peace and quiet, but no. So it's 11:15. I've just wrapped up work. The video is uploading. It's currently at 12%. I'm hoping that by the morning, I'm going to leave it running overnight. It will be fully uploaded, and then I can sort out all the titles and tags and everything ready for it to be published tomorrow evening. I just want to get a shower and get into bed, but I need to change the Duvalay cover. I've been putting it off and putting it off. I'm putting it off every time, thinking I need to change it, I need to change it, I need to change it. But now I really need to change it. So, how long's it been on for? I don't want to say, 2 or 3 weeks, I think, which I suppose isn't bad in a camper, and it's always covered in blankets anyway, but that's not the point. It needs changing. So I'm going to change it, even though I feel like I'm on like my last legs. But change it, shower, bed, plan. Let's do it. Just want to say, right, I bought this extra Duvalay cover specifically for this trip because I knew I was going away for such a long time. It makes it easier to have 2 Duvalay covers to change and then to be able to kind of wash one while the other's on. And this cost me £50 for this Duvalay cover. £50. And I'm not impressed with it at all. It's just a regular thin cotton cover. Not really, well, not particularly thick. Stitching's not really good. There's loads of loose threads on it. The zips are a bit flimsy. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if that after a few washes it gives up. The other one that I got with it, again, is exactly the same. Not the best stitching on it. Quite just thin cotton. So, yeah, I'm not impressed. I like Duvalay. I love my the actual feeling of sleeping on it and the memory foam pad. Like, look at this. This is jammed. Got it. So, yeah, I like the actual experience I get of sleeping on my Duvalay, but I think the covers are a complete rip-off. Not worth the 50 quid at all, but they've kind of got you by the short and curlies because, you know, if you want to put a cover on your Duvalay, you have to buy one of their Duvalay covers. So I feel a little bit exploited. Right, let's get the new one on. New one, clean one. It's not new. It's the one it originally came with, but I washed it, so. I'm making an absolute pig's ear of this. It's much easier to do this when I'm in my living room and I lay it out on the living room floor. Much more difficult here. I changed it last time because I came out with the purple one and then I washed this one and changed to the blue one, and I managed to change it okay, but maybe I'm just too tired for this right now. But I ain't got a choice. I've got to do it because I need to sleep on it. And we're done. Right, I'm gonna finish getting the rest of the bed done, go get a shower, and fingers crossed I can get in bed before midnight. Morning! So the water outside is looking good for paddleboarding. Can't go quite yet though because I need to just sort out all the upload settings for the video or the vlog that's going to go live tonight. So I'm going to do that and then we're going to get the paddleboard out. I am excited. I'm very tired. So at the same time I'm trying to kind of muster up the strength because I've not had a chance to do it yet on this trip. So we're going paddleboarding and I'm going to find the energy from somewhere even though I'm tired. I'm hoping that by the time I've done this video and had a cup of tea, I would have woken up a little bit.
Can't help feeling I'd be better off without you. I just don't see the meaning in going back and forth like we do.
Right, work is done. I've brushed my teeth, washed my face, applied my sunscreen, got the hair out of the way. Let's get the wetsuit on and let's have some fun.
Oh yeah, 'cause you got a way of making me feel like there's nothing that we can't do. But then you turn your back on it, leaving me regretting this now. Now, baby, you're nothing but a bad dream. Nicotine, tear me up, play with me when you got nothing to do.
And I think I've left the valve down. Oh, lost some air. I knew I should have checked that. I knew I should have checked it. I didn't, did I? Now I'm gonna do it again.
You take me higher than an airplane, insane, just to shoot me down again. Like I mean nothing to you, baby, you're nothing but.
Right, so after my silly mistake, I've had to blow the paddleboard up twice. Very tired, my arms are like jelly, not even in the water yet. Great start.
Baby, you're nothing but a bad dream. Baby, you're nothing but a bad dream. I can't see the reason of why I keep believing in you. I'm just holding on to somebody I know will never follow through. Oh yeah, 'cause you got a way of making me feel like there's nothing that we can't do. But then you turn your back on it, leaving me regretting this now.
Right, so I put my old action cam at the front. I did forget to charge it, so I don't know how much battery is left in it, but I will warn you guys that usually it just delivers pictures of my dog's penis because that's where he likes to stand. So we'll see if we get any good shots out of it, but hopefully this one will deliver the goods. So the wind has picked up a bit. The water's still looking quite smooth and mellow, so we're gonna go, but we're just gonna stay in this little bay, not go too far out, which is fine. We're just going for some fun. Windy and slippery. I don't even know if we're going to get out. See if we can get a little bit out. Okay. you see this, guys? This is a bit choppy. Even Winston's just like, what is this? You alright, Fuzz? You want to come down here? It's too much. It's too much. After a few minutes of battling to try and get out, decided to turn the paddleboard around and go back to the shore. And as you can see, we didn't actually get that far. So in the time it took me to do my work and get ready, a lot changed. I'm like, shall I battle out? But I'm thinking if it's just getting worse, like that, if it gets worse, is there any point? I don't know. We'll leave the paddleboard up, we're just going to put it to the side. We might be able to use it later today or even tomorrow morning, but this is a bit much now. Oh well, let's head back. Spent too long getting ready, Fuzzy. Guys, workout just carrying the thing. I might not have done any paddling on the water, but blowing it up and carrying this thing back and forward, whew, burnt some calories doing this. Bloody wind change, but better be safe than sorry, I suppose. I think if I didn't have Winston, I'd just battle it out because the wind's blowing this way, so worst case I'm just going to get blown back to shore again. But that constant swell, Winston didn't like it, so yeah, I was thinking, should I just go? I think if I was on my own, I'd just go. I'd just battle it straight out until I was tired and then just let the wind bring me back home again. But yeah, not with Winston. Better be safe than sorry. So I'm going to leave the board up, take the wetsuit and everything off, clean the pod out. Maybe it'll calm down this afternoon, or if not tomorrow. Tomorrow's our last full day. Still want to go to the seafood shack. Might go there this afternoon or tomorrow. I'm gonna go one of the days because I'm not leaving here without going to the seafood shack. So let me prise myself out of this wetsuit then. I will use this paddleboard before I go home. I will use this paddleboard before I go home. So I am a bit annoyed at myself for not going out on the paddleboard this morning when the weather was good, because technically I could have went out this morning and then now I could have done the video now, because it only has to be done for 6:30. So, hang on, let me talk to you guys before I get food out. So that would have worked. The problem is that every time I have tried to put something off until later, it kind of never gets done, or loads of problems come up. So loads of things will happen in the day, which will mean that I start that project later and later and later and later. And then by the time I get round to it, I have internet issues or upload issues, or things just aren't working out. You know, you get all those technological issues when you're trying to do something by a certain time. So what I tend to do is all the time sensitive stuff, the stuff that has to be done for a certain time, I tend to do straight away in the morning. Therefore, if I have any problems or if anything happens, I can deal with it. And then once that's done, then I have the rest of the day to enjoy. Unfortunately, today, that's not worked in my favour, and it meant that It meant that I missed the good point of the day where the water was still and the wind, well, there was no wind, and we could have had a nice paddle. I missed that because I was working. And then when I'd finished working and actually got onto the water, the wind has picked up and it's too choppy. So, such is life sometimes, I guess, but yeah, I'm quite annoyed at it. Fingers crossed we can get out before we leave this campsite. But right now I'm going to make some more of that pork and little new potatoes, roast potato things. I really like them. I tend to eat it a lot because when you buy the pork steaks, they come in a pack of 4. So therefore, like 4 meals for 4 days in a row, I will have pork with the little roast potatoes and some veg for 4 days. So that's why you guys probably see me cooking it a lot on the vlog. It's because the steaks come in 4 and therefore I eat them over 4 days. But anyway, let me crack on with that. I have just tried to have a nap, but as you can hear, it didn't go well. Luckily, this weather isn't sticking around for very long. So it's nearly 5:30 now. We've got wind gusts at the moment of up to 35 miles an hour, but these are meant to go down to 20 miles an hour by 8 o'clock. And then by 11 o'clock to midnight, it then starts going down again until we're back down to the normal range of about 10 to 15 miles an hour. But this is just coming straight for us from that direction. Oh, so sorry, I'm too tired. But it's okay, it can blow as much as it wants now, as long as it's quiet when it's time to come to bed. That'll be much appreciated. The paddleboard keeps getting picked up by the wind. I have to put something on top of it. I don't want it to be too heavy, I don't want too much pressure on it. This is something. Wiggly. It's windy. It is. It's a bit blustery. Hello. Hello. You're nice and warm. I got an orange and a cup of tea ready for me. Is that going to stay put or is it going to go flying again? It's not going to go anywhere because it's bike chained to the post, but I don't want it putting too much force on the paddleboard, so I don't want the paddleboard blowing and then the D-ring is getting pulled, because if a D-ring pops off it might damage the board And obviously I don't want the board to deflate or get a hole in it. You guys don't see the pod rocking, do you? There you go. Got my cup of tea. I'm surprised I don't get seasick. It's my cup of tea. I really enjoy watching the wind and the waves, and I think that if I was in a normal house with some big windows that didn't shake and wasn't drafty, I think I would really enjoy just to have a nice chair, a blanket over my knees, a cup of tea, maybe a couple of candles, scented candles, and just watch nature in all her force and glory. Of course, in a caravan it's a pain in the backside, but I do like looking at it. Just watching the waves from the distance and watching them roll in and watching them break. How there's so much action on the water, but the mountains and the hills are just rock steady. No movement from them whatsoever. And then you've got all the grass dancing around as though they've just been tasered. It would be lovely to sit and watch from the comfort of a properly built home with some nice big windows and heating. That would be nice. I can't put the heating on when it's windy outside. There's a fun fact for you. It's because when I put the heating on, it'll start up and heat will come out, and then all of a sudden it will flash, and it kind of has codes for how many times it flashes. So it flashes 4 times, which in the code book means that it is blocked. So the air intake is blocked. The air intake isn't blocked. The problem is that because the wind is rushing around underneath and going quite quick, it can't get air in. So therefore it switches itself off. Which, you know, it's a great safety feature to have. And if it can't get air in, then it can't work properly and it's not safe. But it means that on a cold and windy day, in a very drafty pod, I can't have the heating on. Well, I would be able to have the heating on if I brought my little electric fan heater, but because we're in June, almost July, I didn't think I would need it, so I left it at home, and instead I brought a fan. And let me tell you what I don't need right now. A fan. But you know, British weather, Scottish weather, marvellous. Right, I need to get some work done. So do you remember earlier when I was carrying the paddleboard down the beach, battling the wind, and I went all the way down, all the way back, and I was balancing the paddleboard on my hip? Well, I've just been for a shower and I've noticed this. That's a cracker, isn't it? I mean, my hip was a bit sore. I expected it to be a bit red. Didn't expect a bruise. Certainly didn't expect a bruise as dark as what it is. But yeah, I'm guessing tomorrow if we go paddleboarding, I'll have to use the other side, try and get a matching pair. Anyway, off to bed.